We're walking up to Uncle Gramma's store. Free time for everyone to enjoy. I don't know how the tone goes. I'm coming. We're walking up.
Coming. Yeah.
That's all I got,
Want
though.
the world to know,
Yeah.
especially Saskatoon.
Uncle Gramma's here.
Hello.
I'm his co-host, Gary. This is his story time. And boy, oh boy, has it ever been a wild ride, my friend.
Yeah, man. We're getting into third installment, last version of Big James episode.
Big James. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got really excited for Big James.
It was awesome. Glad to have that last one come out. A lot of good feedback. Even got some feedback back from Heartbeat Hot Sauce.
Come on, you didn't tell me that.
It happened an hour ago.
He's saving all the good news for the show.
And that was the other thing. I was going to have a assortment of sauces here. But
To show off.
we're just doing this a little bit ad hoc today. But we will... good word, eh?
Yeah, all I could think was ad hoc tua. That's a statement on society, not us, just so you know.
Yeah, you got to add on that thing. So next installment here, we're going to get into the latter part of this episode.
Yes.
I want to shout out really quick all the people that we did mention on this episode, like Heartbeat Hot Sauce.
There's so many people, man.
The band Ninja Spy on the last video, our buddy lead singer Joel commented on it. The fact that you showed your face, Joel, means that you have to get on here real quick, and we'll get you on there to say what you need to say. And
This almost sounds like one of those demand videos that you get from somebody in a negotiation.
Yeah.
It's like, we have your band stories. If you do not come on and defend yourself, these will be ours forever.
it's like in a message where you see that somebody saw it. It's like, I seen you. I see you saw it.
That's it.
But then you spoke, Joel. You spoke, so we know you're watching.
The ball is now in your court.
Yeah, and it, hopefully will never be in Ted's side of the court.
Making
Right,
that
Ted?
money. Making that money.
No soup for you, Ted. Just Bastion Burgers out in Calgary at Pin Bar.
Hell yeah.
Go check out Ted's business out in Calgary.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
They're here.
good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the last installment here with old Big James Arsenian.
He's the best.
Yeah, so it would have been at Walker's.
Oh, Walker's probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember it was downstairs, and I played so hard that I was like, I got off stage and I went to the bathroom and puked, and I was in the stall and listening to kids outside the stall talk about how cool my band is while I'm literally am I dying? Am I dying? In a fucking stall by myself. This is my life. I chose this life. What have I done? I'm sweating and puking after performing. This is horrible. I was so hot in there, man. It was so
I
hot.
know. It used to get so, and they
Yeah.
put a fan, just like a little fan.
It's not helping. I don't feel anything.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was rough. I really.
You could grab onto the roof. Do you
That's right,
remember?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was definitely Walker's.
Yeah.
I think it eventually became Leps, and then it is, I think, a jazz club now. But
Oh, cool. Good for them.
the story that we just referenced, or the show that
Oh,
we
yeah.
just referenced, James has a pretty interesting story that we kind of fucking made happen. It really sucked. Everyone got fucked on this.
Everyone,
this show.
but also not.
No. It really came together. It's kind of a nice.
Yeah,
happy
it's
ending.
kind of
But,
really cool.
there was a show. There's a guy. I don't even remember what it was. It was stupid, but a guy was putting on a full weekends festival out in Dundurn, Saskatchewan,
That's
just
right.
outside of town.
Dundurn.
And he wanted
How long
a
ago was
rock
this?
night. This was probably 2000
7 or 8.
Okay, so yeah, we're way back. Okay.
yeah, maybe even later, 2009.
Could be, yeah.
Because you guys had already been out here several times, so
Yeah.
it would have been closer to 2010.
Yeah.
Anyway, he decided to put on this festival. There were some local headliners. I think Widemouth Mason played one of the nights.
Yeah, they played the night before us. I love that band, PS.
And
Shout out Widemouth Mason.
Shout out Wild Mouth.
Yeah,
That's
I'm metal
crazy.
as fuck, and that band rules. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Smile's a banger, bro.
So we get there the next day, or there was supposed to be 3 days. We had heard when we showed up on the third day, which was a Sunday, and it was supposed to be mostly hard rock and metal acts all that day, which is what we were told. The great thing about being on the road, when you can get a guarantee from a venue or a promoter or anything like that, or an agent books it for you, where there's a contract, in a lot of cases in metal shows or touring and small-time touring, you do not get contracts. These are verbal agreements. These are just written. Now I guess you have proof from Facebook messaging and stuff. You could technically, I don't know what the law is, but you could use something like that as proof. But it's very loose. It's more like show up and we'll see what we can give you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when you get a guarantee, say for $500 as a band who is wishing they can get a cut of the door from the other 6 bands that you're playing with to make $500.
Yeah.
If it happens, it happens. That's great. But if you can get $500 to $1,000 as a guarantee, it is.
Yeah, it's almost unheard of.
So you book accordingly.
That's right.
Your tour now has a gold star on it where money is available and time around it being next to the farm. You had time to hang out afterwards.
That's right.
Because we were going to go back out on the road. So I had helped James get in touch with the guy that was promoting this festival.
That's right.
Who gave every single band $1,000 guarantee.
That's right.
And everybody did. And I told him, get in touch with these guys. They're on the road. They'll have to end up coming from Thunder Bay, playing on a Saturday night and leaving and coming to Dundurn, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, which is a long drive.
That's straight 16 and a half hours.
Yeah, it took us 17 hours,
So, and you guys made it there. I think bands were supposed to start playing at 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I think all of us were told we were supposed to show up at noon. So when we got there, Sparky got there, Adeline got there. There's a couple other bands that had got there, New Jacobin Club, a couple, I can't even remember some of the other bands. But now we are now talking to the sound guy who has officially packed up most of the entire stage.
Yeah. Oh, not yet. Remember, he was like, "We're packing up."
Because here's what him to stop.
So here's what happened. We rolled up, and they were set up for a giant festival.
Yes.
Like vendors, like barriers, stage was set up, sound was set up, everything was set up. And they had a legit band headlining the night before, Wide Mouth Mason. Yeah. Like those are professional musicians. If they're doing it, this must be legit. We had no reason to think this wasn't legit.
100%.
And when we rolled up and we're like, oh, okay, the vendors are here, there's porta potties, there's the whole thing. Like they were set up for a huge show.
Yes.
And exactly nobody showed up. So not a single person showed up, and it was becoming apparent the closer we were getting to gates that like there's no point, right? Like that's why he was like, I'm thinking about packing up. And you guys convinced him,
stick around for a minute.
Let us just sound check. Yeah. Let's just try to sound check and just see what happens, like just to get the thing rolling,
Yeah.
And then, so you guys were like, you did the sound check, and that sort of turned into like all the bands that showed up to play, just watching you guys do your sound check. We're like, well, let's just play for each other.
Yeah.
Fuck, like we're here. Like, and you convinced the sound guys to stick around and just let us play for each other.
Yeah.
On the stage. And everybody's just standing on the stage, this giant stage.
And no one knew where the guy who was running the thing was.
That's right.
He wasn't there, and the reason why the sound guy was leaving, because he still had not been paid.
That's right.
And he knew how much he was getting paid, and he knew how many people had not come to this. There were people there for the headliner. I think it might have even been 2 nights before, because there was a sour night in between where he was like, I can't get a hold of this guy. He's not giving me any money. I don't know who any of these people are. I can't name them. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I don't remember the guy's name either. I remember confronting him, though. He did show face at one point, and we confronted him. Like, I was like, listen, that was the first time I ever had to do something like that. As a musician,
You basically had 30 musicians from Saskatoon all standing there trying to basically be a barrier between you guys, because we all knew that you just traveled in for all this.
Yeah.
And we're trying to be like, the only touring band here is the ones who are truly screwed here.
Yeah.
Like, all of us just came out to Dundurn, and we can just go home.
Yeah.
And, like, screw your money, whatever. But, like, they're the ones who are actually getting fucked here. So, like, what are you going to do for them? And then all of a sudden, I remember you just got to a boiling point.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm going to have to send out money. Or I don't know if I can just give you a check or what. And you're just like, feed my fucking band.
That's exactly what I said.
And it was just like everyone.
I'm so amazed you remember that.
Snapped on him. And it was just be honest with everyone.
Yes.
What is going on?
Yeah, you fucked up. Just admit you fucked up.
He's like, I know everyone else here is they're all local.
Yeah.
I drove 16 hours.
Yeah.
It was just like
17.
We're not eating another can of fucking Chef Boyardee.
And
find me something to eat.
And
find my band something to eat.
He was like, just got red in the face, and everything got so real because no one had dealt with him like that yet.
Nobody had the balls to fucking. Yeah, and I was just like you said. A 17-hour drive.
Yeah.
Because we thought there was $1,000 payday at the end of it.
Yep.
Like fuck it, we'll skip over a town. We'll get there. You know.
So now getting to what happened later, we actually just called the guy at Walker's.
Yeah.
And we're all as a group. I remember it was New Jackman Club, Adeline, like the whole group of us were all just like, somebody get a hold of Chase.
Yep.
And see if he can just open the doors if he's not opening tonight. And he's just like, yeah, sure. It's like, awesome. Now we have a show.
Yeah, what a legend. What's that guy's name?
Chase.
Man.
And it was a lot of us that helped, but Chase was very good to us at the time.
Thank you.
Having shows.
Straight up. Thank you.
It was amazing. So what happened was everyone just looked around it. It was like, let's get out of here. Everyone go to Walker's. We already have a show.
Yeah.
And we're just going to pass a hat for the touring band.
You guys just didn't just pass a hat. Like, so what we were like I said, we played for each other on that big stage.
Yeah.
So we played, and actually, I have pictures from that day because cows came into the field where there was supposed to be an audience while we were playing. So we played like a bunch of band dudes and their girlfriends and some cows in that field in Dundurn. Yeah. Fucking worst gig of my life, but also kind of like the best because we have this story, right?
Yeah.
But after we finished playing, we had all our Rubbermaid totes full of merch.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, let's see what you got. And all the band dudes and all the girlfriends, man, almost everybody bought something.
Yes.
Which is crazy. And then you're like, oh, P.S., pack up. We have a gig in the city. We're just going to do this all over again in the city. So you guys like passed a hat, bought merch, got us another gig. So really, in the end, I got 2 gigs in one day.
Yep.
We played that show. We made some money off the door there and sold a bunch more merch there.
Yep.
It ended up being like a hugely successful stop for us. You know what I mean? Like financially.
Yep.
But no thanks to the fellow from Dundurn.
Who guaranteed a thing. But what happened was I remember turning to like Chris and Neil and John and just being like, we have to make them $1,000.
Yeah.
That is our goal now.
Yeah,
Like,
success.
That's if we can somehow get people to buy merch, do all this stuff, so that equals whatever they were actually totally guaranteed.
More than.
And like then we're gonna feed them for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Like we're going out to the farm. I already got all the food. Like I just make sure that like because the guilt that we would all have felt being like because we
it wasn't even on you though. Do you know what I mean?
We
Like
could have went home.
Man,
And
like I said,
you
there was
guys
all
could-
the signs pointed to yes on that festival. Like it looked legit. You know what I mean?
Everything.
And to honestly, I don't know what happened that it fell apart like that.
I really don't know either.
Like the vendors were all disappointed. Like what happened here? I don't like nobody. Everybody seemed kind of surprised.
Supposedly there was a lot of money behind it, and there was no money.
You know? Yeah, Fire Festival style. Yeah.
Exactly. So it
Fire Festival Dundurn edition. Oh shit.
yeah, and even if I remember the name, I wouldn't want to bring it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a crazy connection to the city with you, which I think is
Absolutely
fucking nuts that you're here to even witness something like that because it's not embarrassing, but it's like you don't want.
No, it's not the only place that's happened to me. Let's be fair.
For sure.
Like that happened to
You don't
me.
want people come from out of town and having to deal with stuff like that.
That happened to me out in New Brunswick, like with X's for Eyes, actually. Same sort of deal. Ill Scarlet played the night before us. Yeah.
I remember that.
Like, oh yeah, it's legit. And then again, it was like $1,000. It was exact same scenario, $1,000 guarantee. Venues. It was like a festival, outdoor festival in the woods, 2 stages. Excuse me. We played with the Agonist,
Awesome.
also a Montreal band. But they headlined the night that we played. We like co-headline, whatever, direct support for the Agonist on that. But it was like apparent, like right away, like, oh, nobody here's getting fucking paid, you know. And it was like this
And
kid
it's
was
always
just
when
like,
it's lots, right?
yeah, and it's like that's exactly it. Like he's just in over his head. Like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Don't promise what you can't. Like, don't.
Yes.
You know, just be like, look, we'll do what we can, and I'll probably still come. You know what I mean? It's like
It's the exact opposite feeling of when you walk in. It's like, oh, this is going to be so nice. You walk in, it's there's that gut. Oh, no. Somebody's lying.
Yeah.
Like, and you can feel it from miles away. It's so weird.
Yeah, all the bands are kind of like, what's happening? I don't know. It's like,
yeah.
I guess we'll see. And then, of course, at the end of the night, it's like, oh, there's nothing. I'm like, yeah, thanks.
And I remember playing that Cambridge Metal Fest.
Yeah.
Walking in there, it's like, there's a lot of bands playing here. And I think we got like a $200 guarantee.
Yeah.
And we were asking other local bands, they're like, oh, they gave you a guarantee? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we're standing over huge racks of tapes, and it's all tape trading and distros and guys showing up with distros. It's like, no, this is real.
Yeah.
These are the most honest people around.
Yeah.
Like, this is
legit.
Yeah.
Didn't Cryptopsy play that one? Was it Cryptopsy? Or am I thinking of a Kitchener Metal Fest maybe?
It was like Cambridge Metal Fest. It was in a. If Cryptopsy played in there, that would have been nuts.
Was it 69 pickups?
Yeah.
Okay, that wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have, maybe it wasn't Cryptopsy. That might have been Decapitated.
Ooh.
Because we played with those fellas before they got falsely accused of horrible things on the road. Do you ever hear that story? That's wild, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They had to go to jail in the States and stuff. It was horrible.
Right.
But we played with them in Cambridge. That's another Figs situation.
Those festivals were nuts, though. Like, like that scene, and like for gore grind.
Yeah.
And people are like, know what's going on. They know all these different bands. There's like, I've been to metal shows a lot.
Oh yeah.
But there's specific places where you can find where there's subgenres of crowds.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't know that these 6 people over here that listen to this band I didn't know what this music was, and these 6 people are it. It's like, no, there's like a whole scene of them. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't listen to shit grind. Like,
yeah.
How do you know what these bands are? Like, this is
fecal compaction. Yeah,
this is disgusting. And it's like, no, this is and you go meet some of these people. Hey, man, how you doing? Like,
the night they smell like herbal essences and like, they're all just the sweetest dudes.
It is just the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah. Man, 69 pickup, you want to talk about a scene built from nothing. That's all Figueredo and the gang, like the Giacomini brothers. Those guys, the twins, Chris and Sean, which is hilarious because my brothers' names are also Chris and Sean. Another one of those synchronicities, you know what I mean?
Shout out both Chris and Sean's.
Yeah, absolutely. Both pairs, The those guys built that scene. Like, it was like,
really,
and them along with Tugnut. Like, Tugnut, key factors in that as well. But like, that's what a local scene needs. Is like a couple of go-getters who are like, I'll put on some shows here. I'll do some, and that's how you get like a whole thing happening. You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden now there's like 400, 500 people coming out to your shows.
Yep.
And you're just a local band. You know what I mean? That like you're a local like gore grind band that like, is playing in a town adjacent to Toronto. You're not like, I would never expect it. But those are in Canada. That's sort of like how it goes. You know what I mean?
It is so strange. And going back to all this stuff, if a guy like that, like Butterfly Effect, if a guy doesn't just go out and open up a scene and make a certain thing like that, the possibilities of guys like us wouldn't have met. Yeah. So, but it seems like we've all gone through the same things and are a part of the ground up starting of our own scenes in our own cities. Yeah. And the how we found each other was serendipitous. So why is that? Like, I've always found that interesting. It's like, we're kind of really just doing, you're that guy for this city. It's like, there are other guys like that, but in different industries. Yeah. But for this industry, it seems like we kind of met the right guy right off the bat. Like, lucky. Damn. Like, this is.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it meant to be, right?
Absolutely.
And like, proof's in the pudding. We're here 18 years later. We're still hanging out.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean? I'm still friends with all these guys.
Now. Like, we don't know what this is going to do for other people.
Yeah.
And what
I'm excited to find out.
For this, I think is the same kind of jumping off point for a lot of other stuff that's going to come in the future, because he's opened up the space to create a scene.
It's not me, it's us.
That's
us.
And exactly,
Feels weird
that's the mentality.
No, now we're going to suck your dick, Nick. Just take it. All
of us at the same time.
You're the first person who ever did.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know why every time you do that, it makes me that.
Man, I love you very much, man. This is like I have so many memories of you, man. I've seen the geese. You took me to a haunted bridge one time. I think the first time I ever saw the Northern Lights was with you. Yeah. Like, we've gotten drunk on a fire escape in Vancouver. We've been, we've been that friendship. Yeah. Like, it's just been like a real genuine friendship, and like it warms my heart, man. That like one, that you're still playing fucking drums,
Yeah.
and two, that like you're here doing something that like feels right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels good in here.
It is a very, I wouldn't be here unless he's made this like feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
And like I'm really happy that you got to be here to tell some stories. If you're ever in town to do this again, I'm sure we can go for another 3 hours.
How long have we been going?
I don't know.
It'll be about an hour
and
and
a half.
10, hour and 15, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
But, like,
everyone.
This is
there's
awesome.
too much more stuff. Like the other
That's the
thing
thing.
is like we are all close now. There are going to be a lot of other people hopefully coming through town.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to see each other like we used to.
Yeah,
Because the bands don't tour.
that's right.
I don't think you'd consider any of these bands to be defunct or broken up or anything like that. It's just like life
Tugnuts
happens.
done.
Yeah,
But
that
those
ain't
guys,
happening.
but 2 of the 3 of those guys are still rocking, man. 2 of the 3 of those guys just wrapped up a
Yes.
tour in Europe. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. Gribert,
Yeah.
Steven and Hibbs are Gribert from
Yeah, that's right.
Cambridge. And then with your brother's band, the new band,
Cell Press, that's right. Yeah.
And I know McGee's in the band on
Yep.
drums.
Yep.
And who are the other 2?
So on this tour they had, I don't know if you're familiar with Muskie,
Yes. Oh, yes.
which they had him on vocals for this tour.
B Pigwan.
That's right. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'm glad you
Shout out
said
to
the band
Muskie.
name because I never know how to pronounce that one. I'm sorry,
Pigwan.
Muskie.
Yeah.
Muskie's like,
They've stayed at the house too. I have a bunch of their records.
that's awesome. Yeah. And I think they've got a bass player named Tristan, who
Cool.
is a younger fella, but like just like
Yeah,
real
yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
Like that tour, I told my brother Sean, like that looked like the
Oh.
funnest bunch of dudes to go and do Europe with, because like nobody, like these are all salty road dogs. Like they fucking,
I know.
they're pickled at this point. Like they get it. Like they're still sleeping on floors and shit. You know what I mean? Like they don't give a fuck. They told me they were in Bratislava and they got a hostel room with a obese one-legged man like at the front desk. Like they're still doing it. You know what I mean? Hard.
All their pictures from the road were like, silent FOMO, like standing
Yeah.
around my
Oh,
girlfriend
yeah.
or like somebody watching hockey and everything, just looking and like, you just
Yeah.
somebody like it's hard to show somebody's like. All of these guys
Yeah.
are in Slovenia right now.
Yes.
Playing in like a basement.
Yeah.
And
They're on a
want to
boat,
Be there
yeah.
so bad right now.
That
Yeah, totally.
description that you gave of that hostel was so perfect.
Yeah.
Like you painted the
Great
perfect
visual.
picture. Yeah,
Absolutely.
In my mind, I'm like, that's it.
That's what it is to
That was
tour
it.
in those kinds of bands, and they're still doing it, and they're still having fun.
Yeah, and you can't write that shit like any of those things.
That's it.
Can you think of something?
You got one?
No, that's it.
What? That's it.
When we first heard that, it was like everyone from Montreal when we first went out there.
Yeah.
And especially Rob from the Great Sabatini.
Yep. Shout out Rob Township.
Shout out Rob, one of the beauties of the world.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's it. That's it, man.
That's it.
That's
yeah,
it.
that's it.
I had never heard anybody say that, and after like 5 minutes, we're just like, they say that's it
Yep.
all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's it.
It was also pointed out that I say fuck at the end of a sentence very often.
That's it, fuck.
Yeah, that's it. Fuck.
and
good.
that's why you fit in
Yeah.
Western Canada so well.
They love me out here.
That's a great point.
They do.
Yeah.
They've married you into the land now.
Oh, they sure have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the last, I guess, thing. What were we just? I just
We were talking about
referenced something.
talking about Cell Press and BP Guan and
Being on tour.
touring and
Yeah.
Tour
So
Europe.
that was it. Worst sleeping accommodations
Oh, boy.
on a tour, and we'll end it at that.
I've had some really bad ones, man. Like really, really bad. In Sydney, Nova Scotia, I slept in what used to be a telemarketing office where all of the cubicles were various squeegee punks' bedrooms. And there was like a shower in like an office shower in there that was like, it was the most disgusting shower I've ever seen in my life. It was so fucking rotten in there. It was so disgusting.
This is like it had been abandoned and taken over.
Yeah, taken over.
That's
yeah.
what I was picturing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And these kids are just like, we live here now, and like their rooms are cubicles, and they just lay on the floor and like go to sleep. And I picked a corner and went to sleep. It was horrible. And I tried to shower in that Like I went in with my flip flops on, like, and I still felt like I'm for sure I've got AIDS now. Like this is, I've got hepatitis everything. Yeah, so that was really rough. Winnipeg one time. Okay, I'm gonna say something. I don't know if I should name names.
What,
but
above
I won't say.
We've all
Oh
stayed
yeah,
up there.
Stab
It's
City.
terrible.
Yeah, no thanks. We find a bloody OJ glove literally one
Yeah.
time in that. Yeah, but I've stayed there. That was not the worst though. I've definitely stayed in worse than that. But there was I won't say his name, but there's somebody who invited us over to his place. You guys need a place to stay tonight? Drive me home. You guys can crash at my place. I got tons of room. It was Big James. I got a room just for you. Now this happens to me often. You know, you're kind of like leader of the band. Somebody singles you out. This is the guy I need to like.
Yeah.
Make a relationship with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they're like, you're going to and also I'm gigantic. So they're like, you're not going to fit on a couch, whatever. Like, you know, they gave
give
me
you the
special
bed.
accommodations. Yeah. So we get to this guy's place and he opens the front door. We walk up the front porch, opens the front door. It's all dark. I can't see anything in the house. He's like, let me just get the light. And then I hear this guy proceed to fall over what sounds like a mountain of bicycle frames. I'm like, what is all this clanging going on? Like, what is happening? And so he clicks on the light, and guess what's in his living room? A mountain of bicycle frames that he just tripped over all these there's like a bicycle graveyard in his living room. Like, what is this mountain of bicycles? I was like, this is so strange. And he's like, Big James, I got your room right up here. And he walks me upstairs, and there's like a room, like a closed private room, which is nice. And there's a little bed in the corner, like a little bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is perfect. Thank you so much, you know? And I go to lay down on the bed, and it's just 2 Walmart wooden pallets with a blanket on them. Like, that's all the bed was. It was 2 pallets. So I sat on it, and I was gigantic. I mean, I'm still big, and I was fucking huge. And I immediately just break one of the pallets.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm like, oh my God. I just sat on this. I thought it was going to be like a
bed.
foamy or something. I didn't realize it was just wooden pallets. And I just dropped my weight on it and went right through one of them. Now I'm like, oh my God, this is brutal. Like my ass is bleeding and like literally bleeding. And then I'm like laying there. I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. Just go to sleep, you know? And I'm laying there to go to sleep. And this dude's cat is like, I open my eyes and it's like looking at me from above. Like, what are you doing in my space? And like the house smelled like cat piss, as one
probably
the kind of guy who has a bicycle graveyard in his living room. His house is gonna smell like cat piss. But I didn't see the cat yet, and it was locked in the room with me and did not want me to be there.
Yeah.
Pisses on me and starts batting at my face, and I'm super allergic to cats. Like it was the worst accommodations. But one of the funniest things ever happened that night. Do you know Ted Lee from Faceless Hulk?
Okay, Ted said we have to give him money every time we say his name, so we're going to cut
You know
that
what? I'm
out.
not going to give you anything, Ted. Not a goddamn thing. Not a thing.
Bastion
I know you're
Burger.
making that Bastion money. Now get out of here. So Ted Lee, we had played that night with Faceless Hulk, in his old band in Winnipeg.
They were from Thunder Bay.
They're from Thunder Bay, that's right. And there was a couple of ladies who had followed us back to this house,
Yeah.
and they really wanted Ted.
Yeah.
And I could hear him. He was at the bottom of the stairs, and I hear these 2 girls. Like one of them is like, "So which one of you is gonna fuck us?"
Oh, God.
And they're like kind of cornering Ted on the stairwell, and he's like, well, you know, I don't have any condoms, you know. And so I'm like, I have condoms. I'm like, I fucking grab some condoms and I'm like, hey, Ted. And he's like, no. He's like, no, don't do it, no. Trying to wave me off from giving him the condoms because now he's not going to have any excuse but to fuck these rotten girls. He's going to be stuck.
Yeah.
He kind of teased them into it. Now he's getting cold feet.
Yeah.
He's like, you're about to have the worst threesome of your life. Like, congratulations.
Yeah.
Throw the condom. We had those Jägermeister condoms. We were sponsored by Jägermeister. And they
Had a
made their own
whole
condoms.
big trailer and everything.
Yep. And so I threw all these Jägermeister condoms down the stairs. I'm like, go ahead, Ted. I wonder if he remembers that story. Tell you what, Ted, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What happened? Do we know what happened?
You'll have to ask Ted when you have him on.
I see.
Yeah, we're going to have to get Ted on.
Story.
And then you can make a
Yeah.
super cut of me and him telling the same story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
What a
truth
boss
and Ted's
move.
truth.
Yeah.
Man, I
now
love
he's
that.
Ted's truth. Yeah, Ted's truth is definitely not the real truth. But let's be honest, Ted's a fantastic talent, and
Yeah.
it makes me so happy, straight up, that to see Ted just thriving in life. He's engaged. He's
Yes.
got a cool business.
Congrats,
He's living in
buddy.
Calgary. He's got a restaurant and food truck called Bastion Burger in Calgary. Shout out Bastion Burger.
Is that Pin Bar now?
It's at Pin Bar,
That's
and,
awesome.
and they still have the truck. The truck was at the tattoo convention this year. They were rocking.
They still have the truck too.
Yeah,
Killer.
I bet they made $1 million at that tattoo convention. I hope they did because it was they got at least 100 of my dollars. So,
Nice.
oh yeah, I ate a lot of burgers.
Anybody's ever in Calgary, go to Pin Bar,
Hit
eat
it.
Bastion
Get a burger. Yeah,
and ask for Ted, and then give him
ask
the
for
finger.
Ted, and then
Try to pay with the
then come and find us and make us apologize for introducing you to Ted. Yeah, yeah. Ted's a character.
He's great.
Man.
Absolutely fantastic. And I don't know any other better way to finish this off, but
That was
again,
perfect.
thank you, Gary, for having
dude, thank you.
letting
Yeah,
us
thank you.
Thank you
have
for
this
letting me
conversation.
sit in on this. Like
Yeah.
a lot of times, I'm
Let's all suck each other's dicks right now.
I'm on either side.
No, but really, this was fucking awesome.
go
You got a really cool
skateboard.
thing here.
This is
Look
it.
at this beautiful set.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I feel fancy. There's even you even have Skynet making up logos and stuff. What is happening in here? This is like you guys have hit the big time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the other ones. He's got a bunch of these, and then we're gonna start each episode off with me guessing what he typed into Skynet.
Oh,
to
yeah,
produce
that's
it.
perfect. Yeah, yeah.
So it's gonna
Yeah,
be a very good
There's
one.
a bunch of goofy ass ones. I
very
can't
excited.
load it up right now, but whatever.
I'm
We'll
just
get
gonna
it
get up
there
and
later.
walk it off. We always let Grandma sort of do something funny. By about now, the outro music will be playing. So
Well, I guess what was I'm just gonna talk about this really quick. Favorite music that you'd like to listen to while driving with the boys, not by yourself, but like where if somebody were to be like a metal band listens to this in the van. We always had these things with you guys and Ninja Spy and like a bunch of the bands that Sparky had toured with. We would always be like pulling up to a gas station. Everyone would roll down the window and it's like
What's everybody listening
Peg
to?
by
Yeah.
Steely Dan just clank, and everyone's just
Oh yeah. With X's for Eyes, it was you know that song Pony. It's like brow. I can't even do it. I'm not gonna do it justice.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do it justice. But it's like one of those super sexy songs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? With like a really like killer bass line.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm sure somebody knows.
put on the song Pony. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's so good. And a lot of Michael McDonald. Yeah.
See, that is a metal, I think, underlying connector with a lot of people. It's like Doobie
Oh, yeah.
Brothers, Steely Dan,
Yeah.
Mike McDonald.
Doobie Brothers for sure. Yeah.
There's this weird age group of like, yeah, no, my parents listen to that. I love that.
Yeah,
Still.
there's also man, especially with Michael McDonald. There's a lot of crossover with a lot of genres. A lot of people really like
And
what
we
he
all
does.
can sing as husky as he is. He's got the huskiest voice. He's so much beard. It's all beard.
Yeah,
It's like this Uncle Beard voice.
Uncle Beard voice.
Oh man, I love his voice.
Heck yeah.
It's like he could sing all of it. He could push, but
Yeah.
you know. And he's got to open his mouth all the way too. Like,
I'm not doing it justice.
I'll never find a
Too
way to
easy.
stop.
I know. We'll stop. We'll stop talking now. Goodbye forever.
okay, bye. Great
Fuck,
job.
that was super fun, man.
Thank you guys for watching this past episode. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be keeping things a little bit shorter.
Just to be fair, this thing was supposed to be like a half hour.
Yeah.
And Big James is such an angel of a human that we could have went another 4 hours.
Yeah.
We could have, but we eventually cut it off because I think he had to go.
Yeah,
But it could have went longer, and that's just a statement on how amazing Big James is because we love him so much, and he's so fun to be around.
Yeah,
So
it's
fun.
It's amazing, and just I guess like finishing off on this episode, there's a whole bunch of new things coming out this week as far as music and friends, bands, and stuff like that. I want to shout out buddies in Autopilot from Saskatoon.
Nice. Yeah.
Just
Hell yeah.
finished off their year. Nice sold out show out at the Black Cat Tavern. Shout out the Black Cat Tavern.
Yes, sir.
These guys are amazing. Go check out Autopilot. They had a great year. They tour a lot in the States.
They're on the radio,
They
dude.
put
They're on the radio.
so much work in.
They busted through the radio. That says a lot.
Oh,
Of
it's
local bands that get radio play.
massive,
Yeah.
massive for an independent band.
That's it.
And love that stuff.
yeah.
Speaking on, I guess, a non-independent band, But like the guys in the Headstones,
Ooh, it's your boys.
yeah, very, very great guys. They've treated us really well. They're releasing new stuff here real soon. I heard a couple tracks on their social media. It's friggin' awesome. At not being like the biggest Headstones fan in Canada before we went on that tour, I came out of it just like, I love that band. They're so good.
That's
like,
all, man. That's such a good point too. That's all it takes sometimes, hey?
yeah.
Just to get to know the people. All of a sudden, the music sounds different.
You watch a show and it changes everything, but then I guess seeing it from behind the scenes, it was just like, it was so well organized and so well put together. But like they're so punk rock, like. All the brand new bands that are out there and everybody's getting used. We play with in-ear monitors. We do all this stuff. These guys they're running monitors at like major theaters. And it's like, no one uses in-ears. It's all old school. It's like, yeah, big production and everything, but they prove it every night. Going out there, Hugh's spitting, and it's
doing it your way, man.
I love it.
That's it.
I love it. So go check out all their stuff. Really pumped about some of the new things that are coming out with the bands that I play in, but I can't really talk about that right now. It's not like we're hiding anything. It's just we don't have a proper release date for some of these things.
That gets me excited.
Yeah, this is going to be great. You just showed me something super cool. Hopefully you'll see this coming down the pipeline.
Lots happening.
Shout out Matt and Mike helping the boy out here.
Yes.
This is freaking sweet.
Shout out to the All That Angst podcast. That's where that came from. We have a cool little project we're working on, and that whole show is just basically about the greatest decade of all time when it comes to punk rock, which was the 90s.
Hey,
and that's what we do.
You ever need a punk rock drummer for a
We
5-minute
boys,
song?
man.
Just give me a shout.
As this family grows, we're gonna have the greatest supergroup in the history of mankind. And I can actually tell you this right now. We are working on having a Dufferin Ave Media Network show at a venue with the bands that are involved with us, and maybe a couple of songs with the people that aren't in bands but are still around all this. It's going to be very cool.
It's such a great idea. It should happen. It will happen.
Yes, it
You've
will.
just said it, so it's going to happen now.
And you were very in mind with all this as well, by the way. So just so you're aware.
Thanks for keeping me in your.
Hey, thank you for just making life better.
In your.
See, this is what Big James
receptacle.
does. Just being around him, compliment tennis just shows up. That's all it is. Compliments back and forth all the time. The positivity. Sometimes it gets a little sexual in the best ways. And that's why it's the best.
That's what love is.
That's what it is.
All right.
I don't want to know what love is.
You don't want to know?
No. Because I've already found it.
I don't really want you to show me either.
Yeah, that's fair. We did it, man. We
Yeah.
good.
All right.
And now do something funny for the camera while I walk off. You bro is really good at
Y-M-A